everyone, I'm Manna. Momo's over here. Loki is down there in the crinkle sack. Maru's still asleep on the bed. And Arya has gone on an adventure. Not entirely sure what he's getting into, but... My hand goes there, sweetheart. Can I have my mouse? You're not a very good mouse for controlling my computer. There we go. Alright. So, when we last left off, we were in Hannah's chapter. We had just spoken with Marianne. May or may not have threatened Marianne. Don't worry, it's sugar-free. And aspartame-free. I am not sponsored by Zevia, but I'm happy to promote them. Good shit. Anywho. So, we were having a conversation with Marianne. We threatened Marianne. And now we're about to do an interview with Zach for Luxury Living magazine. So we'll read our timeline real quick and get caught up. Ooh, excuse me. The Wright couple moved to their newly bought mansion today and was already preparing for a housewarming party. Hannah and Marianne were seen having breakfast together, with the former complaining and accidentally divulging too much about her marital problems. Well, for having gone down with Marianne, it doesn't look like we've actually moved. So, anywho, carrying on. The mansion grounds has been one of the first things to be fixed up, aside from the bedroom. Although it's still a work in progress, it had a promising start, and I could already see the flower patches. Luke's favored daffodils stand out easily, having been transplanted from the pots that used to litter the rooftop of our penthouse. Why, if the moving crew thought that Luke was being hard on them, they clearly didn't see the landscaper on his way out. The man looked like he was ready to faint, and Luke seemed ready to kill him by the end of the discussion. It is in the gardens that I see him standing near the flowers in quiet admiration. He's hard to miss, the hulk of a man that clearly did not belong, and the big backpack and suitcase he has with him makes him look much larger. It is a peculiar sight, seeing someone who looks like he does, handling little, delicate things with such care. He looks up from the gardens and does a double take before a friendly face replaces his serene expression. Whatever quarrel I had with Marianne, Luke, or anyone else is left forgotten as I put on a cordial face.
Miss Wright, yeah? Hi, Zachary Steele here from Luxury Living, ma'am. Hope you weren't waiting too long. But it looks like you're still moving in, huh? Thought for a second there my calendar was wrong and I came here too early.
The one and only. Welcome to Maison de Wright. And yes, we've been in the process of moving in as we were delayed, but it won't be a problem. They're just adding a few things here and there, and you should still be able to do your work. Where's the rest of your crew then, Mr. Steele?
Zach is fine, please. Mr. Steele makes me feel like I'm a mascot for a cleaning product. Anyway, I'll be your one-man crew for today. Don't worry, been doing this gig for a while now.
You must be quite the veteran to handle this on your own. We've had a full crew coming into our penthouse the last time we were covered in your magazine.
Veteran? Oh, your words are too kind, Miss Wright.
Hannah, if I get to call you Zach, you have my permission to call me Hannah.
I like Zach. He's such a big teddy bear. I feel so bad that I got him killed. I'm sorry, Zach. I won't let it happen again, I promise.
Alrighty then. Anyway, I'm no veteran, but I know my camera well enough to make sure this is a good shoot. You can trust me on that, Miss Wright. Hannah.
Zachary proves quickly enough that I can, in fact, trust him. His skills with the camera and experience in this industry, at the very least. He is kind and courteous, listening and following as I lead him around the house. A really nice fellow, and he treats our household staff well whenever he crosses paths with them. I answer his questions to the best of my ability, and he is patient enough to answer mine whenever I get curious enough. For one, I ask what the bags are for. They are quite the magician's toolkit. From inside, he had produced several items to embellish the interior with. Bowls of fruits, lemons, trays with pepper mills, stacks of cookbooks, cutting boards, and glass canisters filled with colorful nuts and grains are brought in for a kitchen setting. For the bathroom, there are white towels, seashells, and decorative soaps. There are other things as well, too numerous to count, all in that large backpack and suitcase.
Tricks of the trade. Softens up a room, makes a place feel more homey, and fills it up with texture.
Interesting.
But you guys probably have better stuff I can use for this.
No lights. Don't tell me all of these are just props.
Well, I've got my tripod here. For things like these, natural light is best. I'll just have to set the shutter speed to a real slow setting, and as long as nobody steps into the shot, it'll look great.
All right.
Oh, it better.
We go through the rooms one at a time, although we first tackle the ones that the movers have no business in anymore. The ballroom needs little preparation with its grand design, although there is more trouble at first with the wide open space and the pictures being backlit. It is in the kitchen that Zachary's props come in handy, considering how Johans kept the place so neat and sterile, one can practically eat off the floor. We carry on touring the house and taking pictures where we can, with exception to the rooms which have not yet to gain any purpose or design. Too bad I can't take a sneak peek at his photos yet. Funnily enough, he is using a traditional camera. I didn't even know film still existed. With the way he speaks, however, I can see that he knows enough about his craft that I'm not too worried about botched photographs. I imagine photography must be cathartic for him, judging by how at ease he looks while taking pictures. There are small snippets of conversation in between the clicking of the camera. He even goes far as to talk about these terminologies like shutter speeds and aperture when I ask about the technical aspects. Excuse me. I can't quite see the picture as it's made, much like when I watch artists paint on their canvas. But just watching someone passionately practicing their craft such as this is exciting in its own way. I think that's why I like watching people play video games. Like, I like playing video games, but I feel like watching people allows me to really enjoy it in a way that playing it doesn't. Because I have to pay attention to what's happening, but I can't. It's a little harder to focus on the story and notice tiny details when you're the one playing it. But when other people are playing, you can see more details, if that makes sense. I don't know. Going through the mini rooms has been quite the exercise for both of us. Despite that, he has been so nice, and I find myself putting on my best smile. But as we're taking pictures in the foyer, it is as we're taking pictures in the foyer that everything comes to a standstill for a moment. Just a moment. And had I not been paying attention, I wouldn't have even noticed. It is merely a split second when Zachary's rhythm is put to a halt. His finger doesn't move to release the shutter. Yet he also doesn't pull the camera away from his face. Gaze still firmly fixed through the viewfinder. His hands shake, and there is a light sheen of sweat on his forehead.
Zachary?
No response.
Zach, is something the matter?
Lowering his camera, he blinks and stares at something behind me before shaking his head. Turning around, though, I see nothing that could have gotten his attention.
Oh no, there's nothing wrong. I just remembered something, that's all. Let's get back to the pictures. Can you move a bit more to the left, yeah?
I struggle to respond this time. There's a sudden weight on my back and an indescribable tightness around my throat. Everything stops, and everything starts again as I manage to choke out.
If you're sure.
I don't know what just happened. It's probably just a dizzy spell. I'm fine. And he said he's fine. We continue at the same pace as before, although there's an unspoken agreement that we will not talk about what happened.
So, is this a full-time job for you then?
Nah, I just freelance mostly, for magazines, newspapers, and events. So you can't really call it a full-time job. It's fun and it puts food on the table, but it's not what I really want to do. At least, not all the time.
What is it that you want to do then?
Maybe I've been out of line, sticking my nose into other people's business, but I can't help but ask. I regret doing so as I see his shoulders slump and the easygoing air he has fades away. He looks so torn over whether he wants to talk about it or not.
Films, documentaries mostly. But cinematography is a lot more difficult than photography, right? I was working on this thing, actually.
What thing?
Well, it wasn't really a big thing. People didn't like Blue Fonzie very much.
People don't like a film about colors. I suppose they would have liked Blue Bibby a lot more.
Very funny.
So, Grand Director, do you want to tell me what Blue Fonzie is all about?
He hesitates. But when I refuse to budge on the matter, he gives in and spills it all out. Blue Fonzie, I was fucking French. The French language and I do not get along. I didn't take French. I wasn't the one who wanted to go to France. That's my sister. She definitely wants to go to France. I know it's about British soldiers, black British soldiers, because he told us that in Isabel's chapter. Dark blue, the darkest hours of the black British. There we go. See? Thanks for translating. I appreciate it. He speaks with passion of one who has gone through the very matter he is concerned with. There's conviction, knowledge, and experience in his speech. I would have told him that he's an amazing speaker, if only I wasn't so engrossed listening. Prejudice and discrimination in schools and in the workplace. Lesser chances of opportunity and higher chances of being treated like a criminal. He spoke of blacks and people of color in general, still being treated like second-class citizens. All because of the color of their skin. Oh, this sounds relevant. It is all just positively riveting and sad. It comes to a point wherein he soon loses steam. He looks abashed, realizing what he had just done.
Sorry, I just got so carried away and...
It's fine. It is really so fascinating to watch people talk about their passion after all.
Hi, it's me. I'm the person who can just fucking zone in on people's fascinations and what they're passionate about. I enjoy seeing it and encouraging it.
You should see how your eyes light up when you speak so fiercely.
Right? It's so beautiful to see that in people.
You do have very beautiful eyes.
He does. He does have some gorgeous eyes.
Uh-huh. Thanks, I guess.
I want to say that I understand where he's coming from, but I really don't, do I? I was born with a silver spoon in my mouth, and I've lived a charmed life. It hasn't been perfect, but the difficulties I've been through pales in comparison to what others experience on a daily basis. I certainly don't know how I would have fared were it any different. Would I still have met Luke? And would he still have loved me if I was any lesser? No. He would have had no use for you.
What was your home like? These things you talk about, it sounds like you've... Well, I don't mean to pry, I mean.
Live with my older sister and my grandparents. We had a shop selling all sorts of things below our flat. And well, I was one of the few non-white, non-British students in class. I didn't get pushed around or anything straight up. Even then, I was one of the biggest kids around. But a pencil and notebook would go missing, you know?
Oh, that I knew. Children can be so cruel at times. Ain't that the fucking truth? Of course, it may be a slightly different story when you have personal cards and the stolen item is not a pencil but an expensive heirloom.
So what about you? How you liking your new house? It's pretty impressive.
It's nice, I suppose.
You suppose? Not big enough?
What? No, oh, don't be a bully.
I feel like there's a joke in there. We'll dissect that later.
It's just that.
I understand if you don't want to talk about it.
I was a little girl, all dolled up and treated like fragile porcelain, with nursemaids waiting to me, on me, hand and foot. All the material possessions anyone could ever want, I could ask for on a whim, and it would be handed to me just like that. But I barely saw my parents. Just goodbye kisses in the morning before they went off to who knows where and where they were... Who knows where they were needed next. I saw them more often on the telly or in the papers than I ever did in person.
I remember my old house. It was a lot like this one. Big walls and big halls, but nobody in it. Not really. It makes you think how alone you are.
A pensive mood overcomes us. And there's a moment where neither of us are sure of how to go on from there. Things have gotten a bit too personal, yet it isn't wholly uncomfortable, like as if we've been friends before.
Well, that's normal, ain't it? You just moved here. You'll make home out of it yet.
He certainly makes it easy to believe that. My childhood house is indeed a lot like this one, just as large and extravagant, and just as empty. I hope he's right.
So, Monsieur le Photographe, you've covered the one and only Ermengarde mansion. What's next on the agenda?
The interview?
Boring. It's an interior design and housing magazine.
And they want to know what Miss Wright has to say about her interior design and house.
Honor Wright thinks she bought a magnificent house that she can certainly brag about. Blah,
Blah, blah, boring.
Boring. You know what they should print more of? I watched an interesting documentary the other day. Bleu Foncé, the darkest hours of the Black British. I recommend you watch it. Those are the things that people should know about.
I suppose there'd be a way to, like, into the interview. You know, stuff it in there.
What do they care if I use a purple or green bowl of fruit in my kitchen?
People, right?
Oui. People are shite. What do you think? Do I look good with this angle?
I strike a pose while he's being busy, looking taken aback for a moment, probably not expecting me to just go and say such crass words. But he covers quickly, and after snapping a few shots, he grins.
Yeah, vous êtes belle. You want copies of these ones?
Yes, please. So, the big boy knows French. You must have wooed a few ladies. Unless you're into gents. Either way, French is, after all, the language of romance.
I must not be one for romance, because the French language pisses me off. Like, I ran around Italy and, like, would look at the signs and be like, let me break down the word here. Ah, does it mean this? And the tour guide would be like, yes, that's right. Good job. Whereas French, I look at it, I'm like, I have no fucking idea. What the fuck does... What? How do you... What? Like, shit, I can even break down some Japanese words, but, like... Damn French. I hate French. I don't hate... It's not, I hate the French. It's I hate French, the language. Just the language. I don't know enough French people to make an informed decision there. Although I do hate people in general, so probably will. Not the point. That derailed very quickly. I can't do the French language. It trips me up too much.
No, I don't know about quoting fancy poetry. But I've made lunch for a girl before, and they did like that fancy French cuisine.
Rebecca?
Can you cook your best?
I see that word and my brain just goes beef pork onion. Just to start, quote, quoting dick figures. I have no idea.
I can cook just about anything as long as I know the recipe.
Say money peak.
It has been too long since I've had a nice and proper chat with a good friend. No, Lee is certainly not a good friend. And although we've just met, Zachary is the sort who can probably befriend anyone. I don't like that door that's open. That's really fucking sus. He's just a comfortable person to be around with. A bit too comfortable. Don't worry, that door made me uncomfortable just by existing. Oh, goodness. The photo shoot went by in a breeze. And somewhere along the way, as we talked and laughed, I find myself getting a bit too close without realizing. He'll give me this strange look until I back off, and he'll go back to asking questions after I agree to do this little interview. And it's just odd. Well, no. Me being friendly isn't that odd. That is how I am. Zachary is the one that's being odd. Why, anyone else would absolutely welcome the extra attention I give them. He, on the other hand, looks almost flustered about it. He should be used to different personalities by now, having to deal with various people when he works. And if not, he needs to start. Perhaps nobody has shown him attention of this kind, but he's a big boy. He should be able to handle me. Innuendos! All it is a friendly touch here, a pretty smile there, and gently swaying of the hips as I move around. Zachary grew and grew more red every time he noticed. Am I being mean as I find enjoyment in seeing him unravel? Perhaps. This went on during the interview and beyond that. There's nothing wrong with what we're doing, right? Zachary and I are just having a playful, friendly chat while enjoying the outside view. At least, that's how I see it.
I'm sorry, but I'm really getting distracted. Could you maybe stop doing that?
Doing what? Stop? I'm not sure if I want to, though. I don't remember what I did last time, so we're just... I would stop because I was asked to. This bitch don't take no for an answer, because, I've been handed to her, so continue. This is who I am, and I'm not going to tone myself down for somebody else. I have no obligation to do so. At any rate, he is rather cute, and it is a bit fun seeing him squirm. What's the worst that can happen? I doubt it will be anything bad, considering how much of a gentleman he is.
Oh, stop doing what, Zach, sweetie?
Touching my arm and looking at me like that?
I pause, giving him a baffled look. This is certainly the first time a man has ever complained about me being too friendly.
I'm not doing anything wrong. Come on now, don't be like that. It's just a bit of fun.
A bit of harmless fun.
I'm sorry. It's just really uncomfortable and I don't think either of us want Mr. Right to see us and think there's any funny business. I'm sorry. Look, we're finished with the interview already, aren't we? Maybe it's about time I go.
Oh, you must be joking.
No, I'm not.
You're certainly the odd one. Don't be such a killjoy. A little bit of flirting never hurt anyone.
What a jealous husband has.
Other men would simply be delighted by my interest in them. Besides, you really are such a cutie.
Well, I'm not them, Hannah. So, yeah, I'm probably odd.
I don't understand you.
Let me put it this way. You're a pretty lady, so this must have happened to you at least once or twice. How would you feel if someone was making you uncomfortable? Only for them to refuse when you ask them to stop and they make you out to be the one that's wrong?
This isn't the same as that.
As I try to argue his point, he starts to pack the rest of his bags. This is preposterous. My main argument is, what sort of man complains about a beautiful woman being friendly with them? It seems logical in my head, but the moment I try to say it, it starts to fall apart.
Yes, it is. Unwanted advances don't make me feel macho or anything like that. I'm not here to argue morals or ethics, Miss Wright. I think I have more than enough for the interview if that's fine with you. I may be starting to overstay my welcome.
I feel deflated. And things were going so smoothly, too. I ended up pushing too hard just when I might have found myself a good friend. Not sure if I feel awful because I'm not getting what I want, or because I was just compared to the pigs I so despise.
You're not even going to let me apologize.
You're not a bad person, Hannah. Just...
Because I really am sorry.
people won't always be how you want them to be. And apology accepted. But I really do need to go. A friend of mine is expecting me and it's getting late.
Will you visit again? I will be asking for copies of those photographs.
Yeah, sure. I'll make you a copy.
That would be much appreciated. I'll ask Johans to see you out.
I feel sick to my stomach as I watch Zachary leave. It's silly to be upset over a falling out with a man who was, only a few hours ago, a complete stranger to me. That doesn't excuse my boorish behavior at all, and it doesn't make the ill feeling any better. Idling about, I stare off into space, unsure of how I feel. And I stay a good while, just standing there until the sun sets in the horizon. Disheartened, I proceed back into the mansion for supper. Alright, I think that's a good place to end that episode, because we just finished that whole interaction with Zach, and I know we're about to enter a confrontation with Luke, because anytime he's in the picture, it's a confrontation. So, I'm going to call it here. I will see you guys later as I annoy the Momo. And remember to do something nice for a stranger today. You just might save a life.